Welcome, everybody.
I don't
We are
think so.
Marvelous Musings. I'm Agraj.
I'm Addy, and this is our guest star, Anna, and I realized I just
Hi.
introduced her, and that's probably sexist.
Yeah.
It's fine. Hi everyone. I'm Addie.
That's Addy. I'm Anna, and that's Agraj. Let's go.
Can we redo the intro or is that
We
just
are
gonna have to stay in?
No, Anna, Naranjan's just gonna humiliate us with it anyways.
It happens. Today we're gonna be talking about Shang-Chi, which is we're a bit late, but you know what?
I will defend. Hold on. I want to defend that. We're not a bit late, actually. This is only a short time after Shang-Chi came out on Disney Plus. So
That's true.
It's COVID, guys, and we all want to be safe and want to be secure, and we want to be lazy and watch things from the safety of our own home where we can make underpriced rather than extremely overpriced and poor quality.
I hate to inform you the fact that I have in fact seen this in theaters. So
It's just better.
I think I just undercut your whole point.
But yeah, the rest of us watched on Disney Plus, which was fun. And it was an extremely enjoyable movie. Honestly, might be my new favorite Marvel movie. We'll get into that a little bit more. Why I think so. But honestly, let's just go right into it. Let's give our own little reviews of what we thought. So, Addy, you want to start us off?
All right, so I'm just going to go with a general overview first. I love the movie. I love the way they set things up, and it really fits in well with the rest of the MCU as well. But at the same time, the reason I loved it the most is, no, I'm not saying it's my favorite movie, but the thing I loved about it the most was definitely that it's a really good standalone movie as well. It gives you an almost like an Iron Man 1 or even like the first Captain America movie. It gives you those kinds of feelings, or even Doctor Strange actually, because it stands alone really well on its own, and there's a few references to Wong and Abomination and the stuff at the end, but otherwise it works really well as a standalone. It's a fun place to get started with the new MCU.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was great. Honestly, as a first film for a completely new character, who, by the way, I never even heard of Shang-Chi until I got into the actual until it was announced. So I was excited to see our first ever Asian superhero in a lead movie. So yeah, I was very excited for that. Anna, what do you think?
I think it was a perfectly good movie, above average. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Marvel movie, but obviously the fight choreography was fantastic. Some of the cinematography, the homage to some of more Chinese media tropes or techniques, such as the like wire and kung fu mix, that was wonderful to see. So the movie was overall great. No real complaints on my end.
Absolutely. I mean, as I mentioned before, might be my new favorite Marvel movie, and that's coming from a guy who loves Doctor Strange and the character and the world that built. This might be my new favorite. I mean, as you said, the fight choreography was insane. I haven't seen anything like that, and it was so fresh. It was so interesting, and constantly kept me engaged and captivated. That fight on the side of the building. That gives me chills just to think about it. It was insane.
We interrupt this episode to bring you a very special announcement. We, Marvelous Musings, have started our very own Discord server. If you like what we do and you guys love watching Marvelous Musings, we'd highly recommend you join the Discord server. And if you guys want to be guest speakers in the future, give us a shout out there. We'll definitely get back to you. The invite link to the Discord is in the description box below. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Back to the episode. Love you guys.
I mean, Marvel notoriously gets flack for its fight choreography, like I think in Civil War especially. Granted, Scarlett Johansson was pregnant during time of filming, but the amount of shaky cam they put in that for fight scenes. So yeah. I am glad that Marvel has, in a way, outside of maybe the TV shows such as Daredevil, shown that they are in fact listening to criticism about the fight choreography and decided to do something.
Yeah. Like that. Honestly.
I agree with everything you guys have said, especially this is not just, you guys might be hearing a fire alarm, by the way. My building is not burning down. I am perfectly fine. That's also what a lot of people have said before they then burnt down, so I don't know. What I really loved about this was also how, in general in Hollywood for the last few years, we've been seeing a lot of movies that have been focusing on shaky cam, and it's really just not enjoyable. John Wick really bucked the trend a bit. This is really well done, and it's something that it's one of the I would say it's the best Marvel movie thus far, other than Captain America: Winter Soldier, in terms of fight scenes and general choreography. Cinematography also was wonderful. Basically, all of the wide shots they took, especially and the bird's eye shots, were beautiful. I know I'm butchering some film lingo and vocab here, but it was beautiful.
Yeah, every media studies teacher hates you now.
Addie's blacklisted. from where unknown, but the discourse had they don't want you anymore. No more.
Yeah, absolutely. Kicked, banned. While we're at it, can we talk a little bit about Shang-Chi and the Mandarin? Because that was one of the most compelling parts of the entire film, the relationship, the father-son dynamic. Addie, anything to add about that? Like, you go. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it for hours. You go.
Yeah, I will also talk about it for hours, so I'll try and keep this as brief as possible. So, good news, this episode will only be 4 hours long. I really loved that dynamic, and it made sense. All of the motivations, it made sense that when we would give up his rings because he loved the woman and he wanted to be with her for the rest of his life. And it also makes sense that he would put them on against when she was brutally murdered. And basically the entire logic, the entire chain of how his character went, I loved it. It made sense. And I'm slightly disappointed that Marvel chose to end the movie not like as a that touching moment between father and son, but rather as a massive CGI fight. But it is Marvel. I mean, if it wasn't a massive CGI fight, it wouldn't be Marvel.
You got to be
there's
spending that CGI budget somewhere, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what are they
But
going to do that
I
surplus
have
money,
one
bro?
thing I want
Come
to
on.
talk about as well. The Mandarin. I know that this was the actual Mandarin, but I also love that Ben Kingsley's Trevor Slattery was in it. It felt like Mahatma Gandhi had returned to my life. And this movie, I think it really it improves. If you guys have watched some of our last videos, it really improves some of the rankings for Iron Man, especially because it fixes a lot of what people don't like about Iron Man, and it makes sense why someone like Wenwu would actually, through a series of shell purchases, hire a fake Mandarin. Yeah, I think it works. Anna,
Yeah.
what did you think?
Personally, to me, there were some tropes, Marvel tropes specifically, that the Wenwu and Shang-Chi storyline fell into, which I was in the personal biggest fan of. Like, I'm just tired of bad dads in the MCU. Give like somebody a good dad, please. For the love of God. The amount of like daddy issue driven conflict that we have in the MCU is kind of overwhelming at this point. So I wasn't a big fan of that, nor like the whole arc of like she's a good woman, he's an evil 1,000-year-old warlord, but she can change him. So those like were not the most compelling decisions in terms of writing for me, but I would say it was still a good arc. I enjoyed all the time when we was on screen, especially that dinner scene where he's like berating Katie for assimilating with her name by changing it. I thought that was cool. I like it. But I would say overall some of the greater overarching narrative choices were just not resonating with me.
I don't think I can agree with that whole thing about the Marvel trope about bad dads, because when's that ever seen in the MCU? There's no such thing as bad dads. Naranjan put all the photos of bad dads in the MCU up right now.
Yeah, this is editing, please.
Yeah, no, but I do see where you're going, where you're coming from there.
I just realized,
it
guys,
makes complete
since we're
sense.
doing an episode without Naranjan, we need this here. Like, at least one of
I
us
did
needs to
text
have
him
this.
earlier. I was like, what if we use those? Yeah, okay, yeah, give me a second. Let's just
Okay. I also, if I can just add on,
We don't
I
have
know
one
I
of those.
completely interrupted.
It's
I know I completely interrupted you here, but I think Wenwu as one of the MCU's bad dads, I feel he makes much more sense as a resident bad
definitely.
dad than some of the other bad dads that we've seen.
You're telling me Ego didn't make sense?
No, he didn't. And I'll start and I'll end there. That's all I have to say about it.
I'm joking. Yeah, no, I can completely get behind that. But yeah, I certainly without a doubt loved the character when the Mandarin in this. I thought it was a very interesting characterization. And I overall just found the father-son dynamic to be slightly different to what we see with the bad dad trope in the MCU. It was a little bit fresh as a take, but I do see where you're coming from when you say it does fall under the same trope. Let's see. And
now that you do mention it, I've realized that all 3 of the Thor movies are basically because Odin didn't tell the truth about something.
I'm
The
telling
only
you.
reason they exist is because of that.
That
So
Crazy.
not wrong, yeah.
I also wanted to talk to you guys about some of the other side characters that we saw. I did mention the fake Mandarin, but one of the characters that I really loved the most was Aquafina's Katie, and
Katie
served,
Chen.
that was a wonderful character. I think she was the inner audience. We all loved watching her there, and it was wonderful. And the dynamic, and I think the actors worked really well together. So the dynamic was really fun to watch, especially because both of them were able to act as sometimes you have this immature character that just doesn't fit in with the rest of all the serious stuff that's going on. But Katie actually did fit in really well. The only complaint that I have for Katie was, no, you don't become an expert in bow and arrows over the course of a few hours. I don't care who tells you that That's never gonna happen. English longbows, they always said you need 3 generations to make a longbowman, not 3 minutes of screen time. That's my rant.
May I just insert myself here and say that I am so glad that Katie and Shang-Chi didn't end up together.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad somebody pointed that out. The forced romantic interest with any two actors
Yeah.
of
didn't need to
different genders who are on screen in the
It was
MCU
great.
is just not for me. So I'm so happy it was kept platonic.
Honestly, and it's interesting to see, honestly, a guy who just has a friend in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of the other gender. Yeah, no, but I
Yeah.
I thought their relationship was really cute. I liked their whole like sort of comical banter that they had throughout the movie. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. Overall, speaking of comical banter, I feel like Katie was one of those comic relief characters who's done well. Like
Yeah.
I think Ant-Man straddles this line, specifically the Ant-Man franchise, because they have a comic relief character who like sometimes slides into obnoxious. But I felt like this time it was
Talking
actually
about
done
Louis,
well.
right?
Yeah.
I was blank on his name.
No,
Louis
I
sometimes-
wholeheartedly disagree. Louis was excellent. Louis was glorious. Louis was played by the same guy who played Kiki Camarena in Narcos season 1, and he was glorious and lovely. And I will stop there.
This isn't a Marvelous Musings episode if Addie doesn't bring up another show that an actor's in and then proceed to say that they're great because of it. J.K. Simmons Whiplash. Yeah. Yeah.
Love to
and
see traditions are maintained.
obviously. Speaking of traditions, Simu Liu, so attractive. God, he's so hot.
Oh yes.
Okay, got that out of the way.
I want to bring this up actually because I know both me and Anna are really, and Agraj as well, like we're really into foreign politics and foreign. I was gonna say something and now I've forgotten, and now I don't know why I
I think
debate.
you were looking for the word policy, but I think
Foreign
yeah.
policy,
Yeah.
yes. There we go. Very similar words.
Yeah,
I'm not
you got
losing my brain at all. Some online
your mind.
persons were saying that Simu Liu is not a good example of a handsome Asian man, East Asian man. And I have to say, I wholeheartedly and respectfully and entirely disagree with any such accusations. He is a beautifully handsome man, and I think I will stop simping now.
I mean,
But I actually think it adds to the movie's charm the fact that he kind of resembles an everyday man if we compare him to some of the other Marvel heroes.
Okay.
Like look at
okay.
Chris Evans. Like they cast Chris Evans as Captain America as like this quintessential like all-American form of like what I think the American stereotypical beauty standard is, or at least was 10 years ago. But I think it's different kind of in this case. Well, he's obviously still very handsome and there's obviously a lot of physique happening, but I think it adds to the relatability in the beginning of the movie and kind of grounds the film by having him be a little bit less conventionally.
avid watchers of the show will know that I have a list, and he definitely makes a cut. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Avid watchers of this show may not know that I also have a list, mainly because I don't talk about it as much. Wait, no, who am I kidding? I do. And as you may all know, Simu Liu definitely makes the list. He is a very glorious man and must be protected at all costs. Although I don't think the three of us are effective at protecting him because of the glorious and beautiful abs. Okay, I'm going to stop now. Naranjan,
I don't have a list. I'm just going to
this is your space to post amazingly hot Simu Liu pictures.
Yep. Oh, can we just talk about that first scene where he was just like he woke up shirtless and then just went for doing the push-up? Thank you, Simu.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you.
I think we can stop simping. Naranjan
Yeah,
put a
okay,
massive red
I
stop
think we
simping
can
sign
move
here.
on. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know
thanks,
where
Anna.
this conversation is going, but I'm going to derail it and say next talking point, please.
Yeah. Any other side characters to bring in?
Shang-Chi's
mother.
sister.
Yes.
The
what's her
mother,
name?
the
Oh.
sister, the mother.
Love how that went two directions.
Okay.
I mean, they're both important
aunt.
side characters.
Yes.
Honestly, like the three women from Shang-Chi's family, I felt like all three of them were really well done. The
Mhm.
mother, all of her scenes were really good because none of them were unnecessary filler scenes like a lot of movies you sometimes have with flashbacks, but none of them felt like they were just there for the sake of exposition either. So it worked
See,
really
I
well.
disagree with part of that. Maybe it's just my resentment of the trope of the 1,000-year warlord. I have some problems with the Mandarin right now in the continuity of the MCU, just because of the number of shadow organizations we have. Like when you have the Eternals and you have the Hand and you have Shield and you have Hydra and you have like all these organizations that have been running and Sword that has been running around for like from the shadows. Like how many Marvel Illuminati-esque organizations are we going to get till we get the actual Marvel Illuminati?
Oh my god, I want to see that. I want to see the actual Marvel Illuminati.
It's going to take a while.
Guys, I really also
We can't confirm or deny that.
We can't.
Yeah.
Secret organizations are only secret until you tell.
Also,
people
guys,
about them.
if you want to join our super secret and super effective global cabal, then please make sure to like and subscribe
I
and
hate
turn on
that
your
plug.
notifications.
That was
I feel like
terrible.
it could have been done better.
That
I know
was
it
terrible.
could have. It could have.
You're the
Just cut
worst.
this.
You
No,
get
don't.
no points for
Leave
effort.
that in. Leave that in.
No points for
No.
effort.
Yeah. No. You. Humiliation time.
All right. So Anna, what did you think about the other? Like, I recognize that you don't like the warlord trope. What did you think about his sister and his?
Oh, I
aunt?
thought his sister was well done. I actually thought she might have had almost a more compelling narrative arc than Shang-Chi, and not to sound offensive, but Shang-Chi doesn't have a lot of discernible personality traits. Like, it's good and it's heartwarming, but like if you could describe him in words that aren't necessarily like noble or
Hot.
well, I was looking for something a little less superficial, but those work.
Extremely
Not gonna argue
attractive.
with those. Yeah, but
Why?
actually
Why
thought
are
she
the
had a
two
super
dudes
compelling
simping
narrative
more
arc.
on the dude than the girl?
Emotionally capable.
There we go. That one
I felt
works.
I felt Shang-Chi, like the actor especially, he did bring a lot of nuance, especially when
Oh yeah.
thinking about his past. So I thought that was well done. So maybe I disagree with you there a bit, Anna. Regarding his sister, I felt she definitely had a compelling arc. It was just that the premise of her being a brilliant fighter, just it didn't make sense the same way that Katie becoming an expert archer in 3 hours didn't
But
make
she
sense
grew
because
up
we
in the
didn't get to
same like
watch.
cabal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except we never see her getting to like practice those things with
We
real life
do
humans.
see
With
We
real
do.
humans.
that.
With real
That's
humans.
true. I mean, yeah, but the whole point is that she shadows everything that she sees
Yeah.
being
It's
taught
much
to her
more-
brother.
Honestly, she works much better as Taskmaster than
Yeah.
Taskmaster. Taskmaker. There we go.
Let's not
That's
get
what I was
into Black Widow again. Let's drop it. Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I do like her character, but I think it does make sense. I think her ability to see what's happening is just, you know, kind of like Taskmaster's ability to copy fighting styles. I think it's roughly like that. Of course, she's not a supernatural human or anything like that, or superhuman. But the point is that she has this ability to do that, and from a young age, she's been shadowing everything she sees taught to her brother. So it gives her the ability to learn from it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So what about the aunt? I love the aunt. She was wholesome. She was really nice. And as far as exposition devices go, she works really well. I know I haven't seen Eternals. Have you guys seen Eternals?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Going to see it soon though.
At the same time, spoiler alert. Oh yeah, this entire video has been a massive spoiler alert. But spoiler alert. It's almost certain that the creatures they were fighting in the wall, which by the way, Marvel turned it into another massive, oh my god, a CGI army of droids or drones or whatever.
Somebody would
It's
need to
almost certain
stop
that
me
those
because
are
I can go
deviants.
on for hours. The CGI.
Stop.
Jessica Jones
Stop.
just teamed. Jessica Jones got so frustrated she decided to go off screen.
He just yeeted.
Yeah, she was not about the CGI battles. Yeah, no, those are. Oh, it's awful.
But it does
want
look,
Marvel
at
to
this
do
point,
another
it does look like they're deviants, and normally it's Naranjan that brings up those connections. So in memory of our fallen, no, actually not fallen, I don't know where he is right now. He's just probably stuck in traffic. In memory of our fallen good comrade Naranjan, who will also be editing this video and will be humiliating the three of us as he usually does. I want to just bring in this theory. I do think they're deviants. I think it's pretty obvious at this point, even for people who just watched like the Eternals trailers. Apparently Eternals didn't get the kind of reviews that people were hoping for, but the deviants are an interesting way to look at things, and I like how they've done it so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, I just like to wrap this video up with one last character. Katie's grandma. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So nice. I want her to adopt me. Yeah. That's going to be all. Thank you everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed our Shang-Chi review. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope you'll join us next time when we talk about.
Oh, and one more thing. You guys aren't actually, I just checked in with our bosses. You're not allowed to join our super secret club, but I know this might hurt some of your feelings, but please do still like and subscribe and turn on your notifications.
Fired.
got
You're
worse.
fired.
Addie as host. I don't have the same
every
charisma.
single episode we replace someone in the group with someone else. At this
Yeah.
point, the show is just Nick, Sarah, Anna, and Rory. So I guess yeah, that's what we have now.
We are going to run an episode without the three of you. It's just gonna be
Honestly,
all
we
the
should let
guests.
them do
All
that
the
one of
guests
these
will have a
days. We
super
should-
episode.
let's
That's
do
just
that
what's
one of
gonna
these days.
happen.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody, thank you for coming. We're
you.
Marvelous Musings, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.